they followed this up. What was this? The first 30, 35 minutes of the show. They followed it up with MJF versus, by the way, Captain Sean Dean is the illegitimate brother-in-law of Captain Ed George, apparently.
What? Just because he's a captain?
Well, you know these captains, they like to stick together. There's Captain Bly, Captain Queeg. They're all in a club.
Captain Ivan, Captain Lenny. There's been a lot of captains.
Captain Lou. But anyway, MJF is going to wrestle, Tits McGee. And you know what's going to happen. But suddenly, before the match even starts, Punk runs down. No music. Which was definitely the right thing to do, because that, again, if he's coming up with this, Punk, in his mind as he sees it, I doubt he'd have time to go over and tell the music guy, "Oh, play my music." Anyway, MJF bails to the floor. Punk stands there for a minute and then turns around and hits the go to sleep on old Captain Sean Dean, and MJF is disqualified. Perfect. That's an old as the hills fucking wrestling angle, that the goddamn babyface causes the heel to get beat or to lose in some fashion. If they had more actual disqualifications and actual rules so the people would recognize them instantly like the fans did in the old days, then it would have registered quicker. But once the announcement, the people got it. And that's basically Punk's. Then they had a long promo battle. MJF in the entranceway and Punk in the ring. And Punk's thing is, this is what's going to happen every time until you get in the ring with me, you little bitch. And then they knock each other back and forth, drumming up interest in them having a match. And, MJF says, unlike you, Roddy Piper was talented enough to main event WrestleMania, and if I don't get proper respect here, I may be main eventing too, or whatever the fuck. And then Punk said, yeah, you can main event night 4 of a buy one, get one free extravaganza. And again, they're not referencing putting over another company as much as they are taking inside digs at each other like guys in the business would, saying shit like that to each other. And then finally MJF says, well, you want the goddamn match? Well, next week it's CM Punk versus Wardlow. Oh boy, here we go. And Punk accepts, of course, because eventually MJF is going to run out of people to hide behind and he's going to put him to sleep. But next week, I can't wait to see what Punk does with Wardlow. This will be another different style match. Punk's matches have been different styles, even if they did dilute the level of his opposition here several weeks ago. And they're milking Punk getting to MJF. And why do it next week? Why give them what they want when this is interesting? And again, 45 minutes into this show, you've had one of the best matches they've ever had and two guys that can promo like that, and it makes the program seem major league and much more exciting and much more interesting than anything the WWE does. And I wrote right here, I guarantee you that they're going to ruin this by the end of the show. And that prophecy came true. What'd you think about Punk and Maxwell?
I really liked it. And to your overall point, and this has happened a few times lately, the first 45 minutes of this show were a great wrestling show. Nothing insulted me. Good action. Good promos. It was a great show up to this point. And nothing else in the remainder of the show really referenced anything from this portion of the show or went back to it. We never heard more from Danielson or Punk or MJF.
Take a peek in the back for 30 seconds of both the guys in the world title match getting sewn up or patched up.
It's just the show moves on and the universe of AEW moves on. This was good. Everything they've done with MJF and Punk has been good. Some of it's been exceptionally good. They're getting from the beginning to whenever we get to this match, and it hasn't been boring. They keep mixing things up. Even when they use classic wrestling stuff, they put a little bit of a modern edge on it to keep it fresh. This has been great stuff. Whoever's booking fucking Punk and MJF should book the rest of the fucking show. I mean, what? It's like two different universes. Why is this good? And then everything else happens. Like, one thing is serious and well thought out. And Danielson, too. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from everything with Danielson lately. But what happens? The show just goes right off a cliff. And it happened again, and big time this week.